به نظرشون میرسه که
The U.S. president, in one of his recent remarks, said that for 47 years, the United States has not been able to eliminate the Islamic Republic. He complained to his own people, for 47 years, the U.S. has not been able to get rid of the Islamic Republic. This, he says, is a good admission. I say, you will not be able to do it either.
As President Trump moves to claw back Iran's enriched uranium, is Tehran responding by hiding its most sensitive assets underground? Why are two key nuclear sites disappearing beneath fresh layers of soil in just 1 week? What is Iran trying to conceal, and from whom? Why is the Parchin site's Taleghan-2 complex being entombed now? Has Iran concluded that an air assault is no longer a question of if, but when? Is Iran fortifying its nuclear shield as Washington deploys over 50 fighter jets? Are we witnessing silent preparation for a strike that could redraw the region's security map? What exactly lies hidden beneath Isfahan and Parchin? And if tensions explode, will these buried bunkers become ground zero for the next Middle East flashpoint? Tensions are surging again as the U.S. quietly strengthens its air and naval footprint near Iranian waters, stacking more firepower within reach of Tehran's nuclear heartland. As Trump pushes hard to strip Iran of its stockpiles of enriched uranium, Tehran is responding by burying critical nuclear sites, making them harder to see and far tougher to hit. Over the past few weeks, Iran has rapidly pushed soil over large sections of the rebuilt Taleghan-2 site at the Parchin military complex, accelerating a cover-up that once looked months away. On February 17th, non-proliferation expert David Albright publicly flagged this fresh burial on X, using new satellite imagery to highlight how quickly the landscape is changing. Albright explained that the soil cover came only after Iran finished hardening a massive concrete sarcophagus around the facility, effectively armoring it before pushing earth on top. Albright warned that the site may soon become an almost unrecognizable bunker, with only minimal portals left visible and the main structure shielded from most conventional airstrikes. Albright's analysis dropped just as the second round of U.S.-Iran nuclear talks wrapped up in Geneva on February 17th, underscoring how diplomacy and fortification are unfolding side by side. David Albright said, and I quote, "Stalling the negotiations has its benefits. Over the last 2 to 3 weeks, Iran has been busy burying the new Taleghan-2 facility at the Parchin military complex with soil. Once the concrete sarcophagus around the facility was hardened, Iran did not hesitate to move soil over large parts of the new facility. More soil is available and the facility may soon become a fully unrecognizable bunker, providing significant protection from aerial strikes." Unquote. Axios reported on February 17th that the U.S. has increased its military presence in the Middle East in just the last 24 hours, pushing yet more assets into a crowded theater. According to those reports, more than 50 U.S. fighter jets, including F-35s, F-22s, and F-16s, have now shifted into West Asia, dramatically thickening the strike envelope around Iran. Interestingly, this is not the first time recent imagery has shown Tehran fortifying nuclear-linked sites. A broader pattern of hardening is now visible across the country. New satellite images analyzed by the BBC show fresh fortifications at a vast underground complex at Mount Kolongazla, a key node in Iran's buried infrastructure. The site, often called Pickaxe Mountain, sits close to Iran's main Natanz enrichment plant, making it a natural place to shield sensitive operations or backup systems. Imagery from February 10th shows what appears to be fresh concrete poured over one of the main tunnel entrances, sealing and strengthening the portal. An industrial concrete boom pump is visible in those images, confirming that heavy construction was actively underway at the site. Another tunnel mouth shows soil and rock pushed back and then leveled across the top, the kind of grading work typically done before additional reinforcement is added. Analysts say all these measures are aimed at strengthening the tunnel system against possible airstrikes, forcing attackers to burn through more concrete and earth. Experts cited by the BBC believe the complex may be designed to protect enrichment activities or highly sensitive nuclear equipment, though they stress that its exact function remains uncertain. However, the exact role and current operational status of what lies under Natanz adjacent Pickaxe Mountain remains unclear, leaving outsiders to read intentions from construction patterns alone. On February 9th, The Institute for Science and International Security reported that all known tunnel entrances at the Isfahan nuclear complex had now been buried. 2 of the portals appear fully covered and unrecognizable, while a third shows extra passive defensive measures before being backfilled with soil. The Isfahan site is known for producing uranium gas and other material used to feed Iran's centrifuges, making it a vital link in the enrichment chain. The latest assessment was released by the Washington-based Institute for Science and International Security, which has tracked these underground developments for years. Earlier imagery had already shown new roofing and surface work at Natanz itself, raising suspicions that Iran may be quietly rebuilding or reconfiguring sensitive halls below. All of this construction comes just after the US and Iran held a second round of nuclear talks in Geneva on February 17, with tensions higher than at any time since the last war. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said both sides now agree on the main principles of a deal, but admitted that important gaps and mistrust still remain. However, US Vice President J.D. Vance told Fox News that Trump is keeping all options on the table, signaling that military pressure will not ease soon. Tehran has repeatedly insisted that it is not pursuing nuclear weapons, framing its program as peaceful even as critics point to weapon-relevant capabilities. In fact, President Pezeshkian said on February 17 that Iran is ready for verification of that claim, so long as inspections and limits respect its rights and lead to real sanctions relief.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.